Is the United States military being used in ways it was never meant to be? Senator Tammy Duckworth, a combat veteran and Marine Corps family member, has raised serious concerns about the deployment of 700 active duty Marines to respond to protests in Los Angeles. Is this a threat to democracy or a justified use of force? Before we break this down, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on United States politics and military affairs.
General Smith, I share her concerns and the concerns of the other members of this committee about the mobilization of the 700 Marines in response to the protests in Los Angeles. I am a Marine Corps family. My father, who lies at rest in Arlington, served in the United States Marine only for a few years. He was an Army officer for the rest of the time, but that man was a Marine until the day he died.
Once a Marine, always a Marine, Senator.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. And now, even if this is technically legal, what the president is doing under an expansive interpretation of Article 2 authorities, I believe it is incredibly unwise. I don't condone violence or property destruction, but using active duty Marines for domestic protest response sets a dangerous precedent. When citizens around the country, not just in California, see Marines on the streets of America, it risks damaging their trust and politicizing a force that must remain apolitical and mission-focused. President Trump is asking Marines to be away from their families for a situation that the president himself said yesterday was, and I quote, this is what he said yesterday, simmering but not very much, end quote. Do you, General, have any concerns about the moral injury of Marines who are now being tasked to face Americans and deploy their community in an unprecedented way? And what are you doing to address those mental health concerns?
Senator, Marines will execute their lawful orders. I don't have any concerns that about their moral damage. They're executing lawful orders that they're trained to do. They're completely confident and they're capable of conducting protection of federal personnel and federal property.
She pointed out that President Trump himself described the situation as simmering, but not very much, raising the question, why deploy combat-ready troops for a non-combat situation?
Property.
I have no question on their ability to do their jobs. They're Marines, after all. My concern is the psychological injury to Marines who are going to be told to turn on their fellow Americans. We know, and would you agree that there can be hidden injuries such as mental health injuries to Marines, whether they're at war? When you go to war, would you agree that there are hidden injuries that can happen, such as psychological injuries?
There are psychological injuries when one goes to war, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Are you concerned that there might be psychological injuries to the Marines who are being told to turn on American citizens during this deployment?
Well, Senator, I would say that these Marines are not being told to turn on their fellow citizens. They're conducting federal property protection.
So you have no concern that there might be Marines that are having a psychological negative reaction to being put on. I'm not saying that they can't do their jobs. I'm saying you have no concerns and you're not preparing for any mental health counseling as a result of this deployment for these 700 Marines.
Senator, we always have mental health counseling available to Marines at all times for any purpose, but I don't have any heightened concerns about this.
Okay. Well, active duty troops are trained for war fighting and not policing. We ask a lot of different, very difficult things of our troops, taxing their mental health. And now we're sending them to turn on their own communities outside of their normal training. I would be concerned for the well-being of our heroes.
Duckworth didn't stop there. She dug deep into a topic often overlooked: mental health. She asked General Smith directly if he was concerned about the moral and psychological injuries Marines might suffer when placed in such a tense domestic environment. General Smith insisted the Marines are capable, trained, and will follow lawful orders. But Duckworth challenged that response, saying hidden wounds like PTSD or emotional trauma don't just come from war zones. They can come from turning against your own citizens. Here's the core of Duckworth's argument. Troops are trained for war, not for policing. The more we blur that line, the more we risk losing the apolitical nature of the United States military. She emphasized how this kind of deployment could erode the very values the Marines are supposed to defend, protecting Americans, not intimidating them. From mental health risks at home to strategic readiness abroad, Senator Duckworth raised questions every American should be paying attention to. What do you think? Should Marines be deployed for domestic unrest? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and while you're at it, smash that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this conversation. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Stay engaged.